So the Mayweather versus Pacquiao rematch could be potentially canceled. We all know what the hangup might be. That Floyd Mayweather seems to have doubled back, where initially it's supposed to be a real fight, because that's what Manny wants. He wants a real fight. He wants revenge. Floyd wants it to be an exhibition. And the only way to interpret that is his apprehensiveness, That why is one guy okay with it being a real fight, but the other guy needs for it to be a circus? The other guy needs for it to not count. It kind of tells you everything you need to know right then and there. When Netflix announced it, and when Manny and Jas Mathur, the president of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, talked about the fight, they talked about a real fight. It's supposed to be a real fight. It's not supposed to be an exhibition. So that Floyd, week and a half, 2 weeks later, could come out saying it's an exhibition, he doesn't have the pull or the clout that he used to, If what he's thinking is that he can ransom the fight, the ransom by threatening not to cooperate, well, okay, then don't cooperate and don't make anything, because you're the one who needs the money. You can't pretend that you don't. You're suing Al Heyman and Showtime and Stefan Espinoza for an estimated $320-something million. You've got mounting debt. You owe everybody money. You could get sued for this if it is a breach of contract. If you doubling back constitutes a breach, yeah, you could get sued for that. So if you want to play dumb, play dumb. But the only way that you and Manny doing a waltz is interesting is if it's a real fight. Nobody wants to see an exhibition. Real talk, what it do? Nobody wants to see you pretend to have a fight. And what is Netflix supposed to pay you to pretend to have a fight? The hope has got to be that they stick to their guns, that if what they wanted out of the fighters was a real fight, they get a real fight or they get nothing, because nobody cares about an exhibition. That's what I saw at the start of the day. Yo soy yo que lo que mi niño. Another great business idea from Floyd Mayweather, no es verdad? That was what I started off the day saying, that if he doesn't do this as a fight, as an actual fight, it constitutes a breach. And the only way this is interesting is if it's a real fight. It's the only way. If Manny actually has a chance to get revenge. Floyd Mayweather's name in 2026 does not mean what it meant over a decade ago. It doesn't. All the exhibition matches that he's put together, and there have been a lot, tell the story of a fighter who, while he had a very lucrative boxing career when he was an active boxer, fighting active boxers, he by himself is not the draw that sold all of those shows. And I've maintained that on this channel for years, that one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to Floyd is that he by himself was the biggest draw, because that's how they talk about him. Maybe he was the winner of the fights. Maybe he is very successful. Yes, he was very successful, but it wasn't all off his own name. When you fight a Marquez, the Mexicans show up. When you fight a Canelo, the Mexicans show up. When you fight a Cotto, the Puerto Ricans show up. When you fight a Pacquiao, the Filipinos show up. He himself said in his heyday that he only fought guys that had countries behind them. Yeah, exactly. Because you by yourself, your numbers are the Berto numbers. You by yourself selling a fight off your name alone is the Berto numbers. I also remember hearing that they took a bath on the Robert Guerrero fight. I remember hearing that too. Yeah. And the thing is that in their old age, in these later years of what they are, Mike Tyson retains more marquee value than Floyd Mayweather, because Mike is loved. Floyd is not. It's only really weasels and weaklings that revere Floyd that much, because he's an ambassador of their weakness, of their bitch assness. It's a lot of bitch shit with him, You could think he's a great boxer. I think he's a great boxer, but I also think there's a lot of bitch in there. There's a lot of bitch in him. You know. So if they canceled the fight, it's really his loss because he's the one that needs it. You the one that owe everybody money. You the one that got robbed for 300 or 320 or whatever the fuck it is. You the one that's in a hole. If you want to fuck that up because you scared of a what is Manny 46? If you want to fuck that up because man you scared of a 46-year-old Pacquiao, you a bitch. He a bitch, right? Real talk. He's a bitch.
Hell yeah. Can you hear me right?
No, I can't hear you.
Fucking bitch ass nigga.
You know what I'm saying? He's a bitchy bitch. He's a fucking bitch. He's the poster child of bitches. He has
He
had the
said
greatest
he said their bitch assness.
the bitch ass.
I'm,
Undefeated what it do?
bro, I'm really tired of these fucking Americans, bro. I'm fucking tired. First of all, I didn't. Nobody in their right mind wanted to see a fucking rematch with these grandpas. On top of that, you want to, how we say in Spanish, "Te quieres poner los moños?" Like you, like you know, like, like nah, bro. Like nah, man. It's
No,
like a
yo te lo
fat.
voy a decir.
Uh,
Yo estaba interesado if it's a real fight. Porque Pacquiao, what makes it interesting is Pacquiao has been fighting. You know, yeah, he fought Barrios and he drew, pero por lo menos he has been fighting. So the idea that he could get revenge and that he's catching Floyd at the right time, you know what? It is intriguing. I wouldn't mind seeing that on Netflix because I wasn't like pay per view. Yo, suck a
yo,
dick with the pay per
suck
views.
dick, bro.
Suck a fucking dick, bro. But if you that much of a pussy and that much of a bitch, because there's no other way to look at it, you a bitch. If old Manny is willing to fight in a real fight, why are you not willing to fight in a real fight? Because you're a bitch. You not. It's not Crawford. It's not Crawford. It's not fucking Yanni Beck. It's not fucking nobody you gotta worry about. It's Manny. You did that already. Está nervioso. You got
Like,
cold feet? Come on.
like I hate Floyd. I really do hate Floyd. But even if they were like, "Hey, put Terrence in there," I'd be like, "All right, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
You fighting Pacquiao from fucking 11 years ago, 10 years ago, and I think you could beat him today. But no, it has to be X. Man, suck dick, bro. Suck
Listen,
dick.
I don't even know if he could beat him today. And I'm not even kidding when I say that. I don't say that for shock value or comedic effect. I don't know if he could beat him today. A lot of what Floyd did in their initial meeting relied on reflexes and timing. When Manny tries to come forward, pop, meet him at the door, stop him in his tracks, and interrupt his rhythm. All of that really relied on mobility, agility, speed, and timing. At close to 50, 49 years old, undefeated, 49 years old. Do you really trust that he has the reflexes to shake and bake Manny the same way he did before over a decade ago? And I would say, no, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. It's been over 10 years.
I trust Floyd more than I trust Manny because I've seen a fucking streamer low key kick Manny's ass like 2 years ago.
That
So
is
it,
true. That is
so
true.
it's
Well,
yeah.
well, that wasn't a streamer. That was a very young, in fairness, that was a very young and a very big kickboxer.
Oh
You're
shit.
talk that guy that Manny fought in Japan. That wasn't a streamer, bro. SF. That was a very big and very young kickboxer, and you saw the size of him. Like, bro, like, yeah, you could probably do that to Manny. Now you're a lot bigger and younger than him, But you're talking if we're talking about two guys who are on the same wavelength. Manny has at least been keeping up in camps and doing fights. So yeah, he's not gonna have ring rust. Virtuoso, what it do?
Yo, what's good, man? Yeah, I just heard the news about this. I'm like, I'm not surprised because as soon as they announced that this was going to be an official professional boxing bout, he comes out and says, "Well, this is actually an exhibition," and there might have been some arguments, from the higher ups, and probably said, "Fuck it, I'm out."
Bill said he's just
It's
a to me he's just a bitch. Go ahead, undefeated.
Yeah,
yeah, he's a bitch, bro. But you put yourself in his shoes, like you're probably in debt. You're missing what 340, 350 that Al Heyman took from you. There's no other fight for you that'll make whatever Netflix was gonna give you, bro. You're broke. Like, what are you doing?
Yo,
The shit is the main point. Manny is old. Manny is not a young man. Manny is old. You're old, but Manny's willing to do it. Why aren't you? Manny's willing to do it. And for me, that settles it. Manny un fucking viejo. El un fucking viejo. He's 46 going on 47. He's an old fucking man. Yes, he's old. Y'all are both in the same age tax bracket, but he's willing to fight. Why aren't you? Because you're scared,
because that O is all that nigga has left, Wade.
Because he's a homo.
right? Because he's
That's
fucking
it.
homo. Fucking homo. And
I
nothing,
know.
I think that, shut up. I think it would be good for boxing and the universe if Floyd lost. It would be good. It would be good. Yes, undefeated. It would be good.
It's not the
undefeated. You'll be
same,
the
bro.
last remaining undefeated guy. That's why your name is
Listen,
undefeated.
You know,
listen,
that's
listen.
true. That's true.
Listen, I can, undefeated is a good guy because he's a Capricorn like me and Drew.
Yes, sir.
He's a good
Oh, he
guy.
is.
Dick's
Yeah.
9 inch long. The dick
Oh,
is 9 inch
okay.
long.
So he's all right now.
Real talk. Real talk. He has a long dick. Okay, real
Long,
talk.
bro. Long.
Okay, and
But is
thick.
it curved?
I'll
It
pull up to
does.
West Dallas and show you, bro.
He's gonna show you, bro, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mr.
But
T's fucking going through.
I can guarantee, I can guarantee that if
So this nigga
Floyd
sing
fought
about cop
Manny,
booties.
if Floyd fought Manny and he lost, undefeated would fucking explode. He would
Yeah.
explode.
I might fuck
You
a
would
fat
love it.
bitch, bro. I might fuck a
You
fat
would
bitch.
love it, bro. You would fucking love it. I think a lot of people
Fuck.
would love it. I think I think collectively for the boxing sphere, because it's already established that Floyd is a fraud. The whole business guy shit, that was an act. You were boxing's Ted DiBiase. You're not really the $1 million man. You know what I mean? You didn't
300
make
million
it
a month.
Yeah, but
right.
like
Get
it won't be the same as it would have
yes, it
been
will.
11 years ago,
No,
bro.
no. It will, because Floyd's whole thing is I retired undefeated. That's your whole thing.
Yeah, you got a point there. You got a point.
That's your whole thing, that I left with my money and my faculties and my
And I robbed the
now,
bank. Remember? I robbed the bank.
right now
Highway
you have
robbery.
neither. It would be amazing for Floyd to lose that fight. Yes, it would. It would be amazing. It would be boxing catharsis. That don't be like Floyd, because that's the message we need to get across. Don't be like Floyd. Too many of y'all have been trying to be like Floyd. He's boring. He's skinny. He's little. He's a bitch.
Devin.
Don't be like Floyd. You know, be like Crawford. Be like Crawford.
I know.
What's going on with you?
I seen your fucking relay, Jules. Like Tank's done, right? And the defenders are gonna die on this hill. The homos.
Listen, like I said, like I don't presume to be the expert in legalese. Here we go with this shit.
Is that Ignacio?
Fix that shit, bro.
With his new
Shout out to
Wi-Fi.
motherfucking Mr. T. Nah, put up Super Shadow Diddy. All right, this is Super Shadow Diddy for Fig. Super Shadow Diddy for you, Fig. This one's for you, bro.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Take
There he
that,
is.
take that, take that.
Take
So
that.
you don't
Take that.
expect you don't
No,
pretend to be an expert
but
in
seriously,
legalese.
I don't pretend to be an expert in legalese, but like I said, it's very hard to imagine, especially in Florida, Drew. That's a red state. It's very hard to imagine that in fucking Florida, you're going to beat those charges when you were on probation and there's CCTV video. You had no reason to be there. You literally had no reason to be there. According to the woman, y'all were broken up a month prior to the incident. It's never going to be permissible for you to show up at somebody's job and put your hands on them in any way. So I'm just thinking from a defense attorney sort of perspective, I don't, even if you said, oh, she was trying to extort me. Yeah, that doesn't mean beat the bitch up after that, though. Like that doesn't become legal, license to beat the bitch up. So I don't know how he's gonna get out of this, bro. I don't see how.
Yo, I saw about 3 or 4
It
guys on X, and they were all like, "Man, y'all making it seem like he punched her and beat the shit out of her." Like, bro,
Yeah.
like You guys are fucking
Yeah,
weird,
he's
man.
Listen,
still
assault.
pretty
If
fast.
here's how assault works, and that's not just assault though. That's battery. That's not just assault because you touched her. That's battery.
Yeah,
But
put
assault
your hands on him.
could be assault. It could be as simple, undefeated, as me throwing a drink on you because you don't know what the contents of the drink are. That could be acid. That could be chloroform. You don't know. Assault encompasses a wide array of different ways to get at a person. Now, you went a step further than assault. It's not like you were throwing spitballs at the bitch. You literally walked in there and hemmed the bitch up. They can see you that you have your hands on her and you're guiding her to the staircase. They can see, like,
Forcefully.
it's forcefully. I like I
That's
said, I don't know how you gonna beat that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
assault,
I
brother.
saw the
And
video today,
then,
and
and then
so
he
just
ran.
Get
keep it
So
a
fig.
bean. Yeah, keep that shit a bean. I thought that shit was gonna be worse. Maybe it was the Diddy shit that had me and
yeah,
everybody talking about it, but I was expecting something worse. I mean, he shouldn't have put his hands on it, definitely. You know what I mean? But that shit wasn't
make
No,
Well,
I
what
mean,
does the
like
as I
judge
was
in
thinking.
what does the judge in
Motherfuckers was really
Baltimore
acting
say?
like fucking nah. like
no,
it,
what I'm
like
gonna
he was
say
ran.
is
fucking Diddy and old girl and shit.
what
Like,
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say is people think of battery and they think of a fight, because like when you actually get into what these things are in terms of legalese, assault covers a wide variety of different things. That covers a wide variety of different things. Battery is really as simple as putting your hands on a person, even if you didn't strike them, even if you didn't kick them. Battery could be as simple as hemming somebody up or throwing somebody in a full Nelson. Like, yeah, once you lay a finger on them, okay, now that's battery. Now, the reason
Yeah,
it's really bad for him, is it's not a question of it being battery. It's battery. Yeah, it is. She didn't want to go with you, but you were
mm-hmm.
forcing her to. She didn't want to go with you. You can see that in the video. You could see that she's protesting, that she's trying to go in the other direction. You won't let her. So, yeah, that's bad.
And
Yeah,
she
it's pretty
run.
bad.
So
And then he's on probation in Baltimore, right? So once that's a violation.
I mean, to me, it seems like a slam dunk. I don't want to be presumptuous, but it seems like a slam
the
dunk.
way, the way they're gonna put it together, they're gonna say she ran. She was in fear for her life. Ain't no telling what he was telling her when he was shoving out. Did he get him and tell her, "Bitch, I'll kill your motherfucker"? Ain't no
And,
telling. So, I mean,
and what network
uh,
is going to take a chance of putting him on TV now, Jules?
I mean,
In the immediate
like
future, the next 6 to 9 months.
I mean, if he can beat the case, then if he can beat the case, he beat the case. So it's not a question of that. The question is, does he beat the case? And like I said, I don't really see how this is winnable. I don't see how this is one. How your version of it, is, oh well, she was trying to extort me. Okay, so that makes it okay for you to go to her job at 3 a.m. and hem her up? Nah, that's not how this works. No. Even if she was trying, even if you could prove that, which I don't think you can. I
Does
don't
this
think
alert
you have.
kidnapping?
I mean, look at her. It's kind of obvious. Like you can see plain as
Yeah.
day. You can see plain as day. Like, yeah, this is assault.
she's
Assault is
taking.
not.
Hmm.
Assault is battery. It doesn't have to be. Oh, you punched the bitch in the jaw. You kicked her in the rib. No, 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 no. Assault is battery. Is as soon as you lay a finger on somebody, that's battery.
yeah,
I
Soon as
just
everybody
wanted.
has battered somebody in their
Yeah,
Yeah,
life. Like
yeah.
you ever
well,
been in
She
school and pushed somebody before a fight or fucking didn't fight? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Square up. Like
Yo,
yeah,
she also had them
some
teeth.
as
To be
simple as
honest,
that could be better.
the
she
other
had them
thing I
let me
had to
tell
teeth.
you.
say,
Sitting on
no, but the
somebody.
other thing, Herb, because we're the older guys here, Herb. These are all young guys. The other thing I had to say is, I didn't know what she looked like. She looks
She
fucking amazing. Like those are
bad
great
Yeah,
ass.
as
This is
fuck.
oh,
listen. These are
She had them
grainy.
thighs.
This CC, bro. The CCTV footage is as grainy as a Motorola Razor in 2001, but you could still see that ass
Yeah,
and
she
them
had
Yeah, that
them
legs.
shit
Like
reminded
teeth.
me of my
that's
ex the whole time. That shit
great.
was crazy.
BBL, Jules. BBL.
Nah, that
oh,
wasn't a
No,
BBL.
no,
That
no, no,
wasn't a
no, no. That's
BBL at
grown.
all. No, that was
Listen,
natural,
listen,
dog.
listen. Listen, I've been an expert in this field for at least 25 years at least, and that's not that. The legs
That's
match the proportions of the ass. That
Yeah.
is
look at them thighs,
she.
bro.
I got a
Yeah.
more important question though, Jules. Did you see the shit that happened with Christy Noem, the politician's cross-dressing husband that came out today?
No, I didn't see that.
Wait, what?
Dog. That ICE lady that's in charge, someone ratted on her husband, a
She
sex
got booted
worker.
out, Drew.
She got booted out, and they released the footage. Her husband cross dresses with like triple D breast implants, and they
Damn.
expose all her shit.
Listen, bro. The main shit. Listen. It's a lot of weirdos out there. I'm not into that shit. There's a lot of weirdos out there. Back over to Gervonta. It's very simple. I don't see what his defense could say that would make that okay. You got to understand that he drove. Before I pass it to you, villain, he drove there at damn near 4 a.m. You see, that's crazy. Like, imagine that. Imagine, Fig, God's mad at you. He's driving to you at 4 a.m. That's not a good look, bro. What are you
It's not
doing
a good
over there
look,
for?
but I've fucking driven places at fucking 4 in the morning before
To beat
on
the
some
shit
ass
out of
shit.
people?
I got in a fight one time, and other time it was whole problems. Fucking
Go ahead,
Yo,
driving.
villain.
Jules, but just
Wait,
to
wait, 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 wait. Go ahead, villain. Shit.
I was
Parliamentary
just
procedure.
the whole entire situation is indefensible. There's not any way you can defend it from the fact you show up a lady's job, you have past priors of the same behavior, it's on camera. You're not allowed to touch people because you're not happy with what they say, especially at the job. I mean, there's an argument that it was coercion, it potentially kidnapping. It's just a terrible look. If the guy didn't have a past history of this, you can make an argument and say, well, it was a heat of the moment. He's angry. He can learn from it, but clearly he hasn't. I don't know how anybody on planet Earth can defend the behavior. It's
Oh
indefensible.
no, I mean, like for me, as the father to a daughter, shoot him. I don't really want to hear about what other people do and what other people think is okay, because
But
if
he had
that's
it
my
hard,
daughter,
Jules. He grew up in Baltimore.
do I get to finish my sentence, Drew? Do I get to do that?
Absolutely.
I'm the father of a daughter. You think I would want somebody touching my daughter like that? Nah, you gotta die. It's not permissible to me. I don't care how mad you got at a bitch. These bitches are crazy. They've always been crazy. You don't beat them up though. You don't beat them up. You remove yourself from the situation. If you are not man enough, if you did not have a man in your life to teach you, control yourself. You act like a woman, Gervonta. Why? Because you were raised by a woman. It's very obvious. It's consistent. It's consistent with a lot of motherfuckers that's like that. You have no control over your emotions. You fly off the handle and you throw a tantrum because you were not taught how to be a man to keep yourself in check. You do anything to one of these bitches. I mean, and that's just a given. That's just a survival thing. Like, you do anything to these bitches. It could be assault, sexual assault. It don't take a lot to make these bitches uncomfortable. So for you to think that you could drive to a place of work at damn near 4 in the morning to hem a bitch up, where were you guys going? Well, you're guiding her down the staircase, which is what she said. You walked her through the kitchen, which it shows, down the steps, which it shows, down the hallway to the parking lot, which it shows. Where were you taking her? And to do what? This is not a hard case to make. This is not a hard case to make at all.
Hey, yo, you know something, Jules? I mean, like, in my days, I mean, like, any woman I ever dominated sexually, that behavior never took place. It was always vice versa. They chasing me around, want to kill me. So I mean, apparently he can't hit no
I
pussy
think
hard.
listen, I'm be real, look, because he's got a Napoleon thing, and that's very obvious. He's got a Napoleon thing. Um, that was a lot of ass. Let's go back to the footage.
He can't
There's a
handle that.
I don't think he can handle that or correct that. It's a lot of ass for him. That's a lot,
boy.
It's a lot. And I looked at the ratio. I'm like, damn, this is awkward. She bigger.
Well, the question I have too is if you're gonna end up getting mad at women, want to beat on them, the first question you have to ask yourself is, what kind of women are you choosing? You're choosing women who work at strip clubs at 4 a.m. They're probably not the most morally sound human beings on planet Earth. So they're more likely going to piss you off. So why don't you find yourself like a nice church girl, someone who's going to be a little more docile.
Church
like
girls don't
Amy.
have ass.
Wait. Let's address. No, yes, they do. Yes, they do.
That's a
Yes,
lie.
they
I
do.
wasn't done. I wasn't done. I said church girls don't have ass like cornbread, villain. So sorry.
Listen,
Wow.
yes,
Yeah,
they,
they do.
yes,
They
they,
got more.
yes, they do.
They got more.
Listen,
God bless them. God bless us.
yes, they
Oh
do.
yeah.
Yes, they do.
I'll
Shout
let
out
That's
to
why
you
they in
Virtuoso.
church.
Mr. T, start making that Photoshop edit of Floyd shooting himself in the foot. What I was gonna say was, he's another dumb athlete who pulled a woman who was out of his league, because she is like, I can't even see her face, but I could see she's out of your league. That's too much woman for you. The same as Lena Sayed with Devin. That's too much woman for you, bro. You need a broad who's a little bit uglier and a
Right.
little bit
Right.
homelier. You can't handle that woman. I'm telling you, you can't handle that woman.
But by the way, Jules, I just want to point out real quick that the WBA is going to collect 20% sanctioning fee off this fight right here.
Mauricio.
Cage
That's
people
why
ask
for the money
already.
Hey, hold on.
Gilbert wants his money.
But now
Hey,
here's
Jules.
the thing. Here's the thing. To the point that Virtuoso made. Look at the women you're messing with. Strippers at a strip club. Do you honestly think that this woman, if you didn't have millions upon millions of dollars, and men can't be honest with themselves sometimes, especially not athletes, it's not charm. It's not because you're cute. It's not because you're cool. It's not because of your tattoos. Listen, boxing ego likes your personality more than she does, bro.
That
Okay?
motherfucker loves his
That's
calves.
sad.
Wait, Jules. So what was the thing that was dropped 2
Yeah.
days ago?
What was dropped 2 days ago is the
Kidnapping?
no, not kidnapping. That one stayed. It was the false imprisonment charge, and it was dropped by the prosecution. It's not like they won. It's not like the defense won or they had a victory. No, that was dropped by the prosecution because it was redundant, and it was redundant because, well, there's already a kidnapping charge on there that pretty much covers the false imprisonment.
Yeah. Well, his fans celebrated early.
Hold on, give me a second. I got to take a phone call. I'll be back.
I saw something where it said that motherfucker's suing her for $20 million. The
Good luck,
fuck is
bro.
that about?
Good luck.
What
And
kind of
then
dumb shit is that?
I asked this when after it happened. I'm like, why didn't like a security guard like grab that motherfucker by the neck? And it made sense what they said. They were like, well, he was probably with like a whole group of motherfuckers. It was just him and his homeboy. Like,
Yeah, and it looked like his homeboy might have been a voice of reason because by the time they made it down the staircase, they just walked off and she just walked back.
You
Like,
think it's
it was like he
friendship?
did all that for nothing. It's like by the time he reached the end of the staircase, he walking off.
Yo,
She turned around.
undefeated. Having been in the a few establishments myself in Miami before, a lot of those fucking spots, bro, the security don't really do shit. They're just kind of there, just hanging out. They really don't. I've seen motherfuckers get beat down. I've seen motherfuckers get beat down in some strip clubs in Miami. So I'm not completely surprised that Tank did some shit like this where, they probably weren't paying attention or they were probably fucking around doing something they're not supposed to do. And he just walked up in there and did that shit.
like I don't when there's couples arguing, I don't get involved at all. Fuck that. But if I saw
Yeah,
Tank, bro, with a fun bitch, and I had like 2 beers in me, like I'll be back. I'm gonna go knock the little
I'm gonna be
motherfucker out.
real. It's risky getting in between people
I
relationship
do feel like taking a
problems like
chance
right
too.
there.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
feel you.
man. He's never been chin checked. Let me put that one on his box rec real quick.
Choke his little ass out.
Yeah.
Undefeated in the streets.
So you gonna chin check him like that dude who chin checked Suge Knight in the club, laid him
Something
out.
like that.
But that pink hair dude, that dude was like a fighter, wasn't
The guy who hit Suge Knight?
he? Yeah, the pink hair guy.
Nah, I saw a video of it and somebody claimed he just was a regular dude. Like he wasn't no MMA fighter, he wasn't a boxer, nothing. He just fucking cold cocked him and shit and dropped him. But who knows? Maybe he could have been a fighter.
Because he had pink hair. I'm like, nobody walks around with pink hair and is just that confident.
But yeah, just
Unless you
back back to the initial point that I was making, that I don't downplay what he did, because if you were the father of that girl and you saw that video, you'd probably be seeing red. Probably would. You'd probably want to take his head off. And I see people downplaying it because, well, frankly, you come from a degenerate environment where degeneracy is accepted. That's the only reason you would downplay that. If I put my kid in that young lady's shoes or whatever, it's a very different conversation. I don't do the rules for thee but not for me bullshit. That is domestic violence. Well, do you need him to kick her a little harder so it could fit the lane that you want it to be? You need him to punch her in the
To
rib a
be
little bit?
honest, that shit wasn't like that crazy, dog. Like,
What does that even
I
mean?
get it.
That wasn't that crazy.
And
Yeah,
I
I'm grabbing a
disagree.
woman by
That
the
shit wasn't
throat.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm
And I
just grabbing her by the
disagree.
Bro,
throat. That
I've
seems
been
normal.
stabbed
Well,
and hit by cars.
listen.
Dog. Like,
If that was listen,
that shit wasn't.
hey,
That shit wasn't
I've
crazy.
been hit by cars and I took a baseball bat across the face. That's not a guy. That's a girl. That's not a guy. That's a girl. If that was your mom, it's not that crazy. If that was your mom.
My
If
mom
your
been stabbing
mom's
people.
but if that was your mom and you saw a guy come up to her place of work and he did that, it's not crazy.
If it's my father and my mother, I would stop my father and be like, yeah, that's crazy because it's my mom. But at the same time, I wouldn't act like he punched my mom in the face. Like there's
Well,
there's degrees to.
but that's a straw man. What the girl said happened. She never said he punched her. She never said that. She never said he kicked her. She said he came to her place of work, grabbed her by the hair, grabbed her by the neck, escorted her out the hallway, took her down the stairs, walked through the kitchen, tried to get her to go in the car in the parking lot, and she ran away. Everything the girl said is on video. Everything. Now I'm saying that people are downplaying that because, frankly, the only way, and I probably would have downplayed it too if I were in my 20s and I didn't have kids. But I have a kid, so I know that I'm looking at it through the lens of a father. That is still a woman. What does me taking a baseball bat across the face have to do with that woman? I've been hit by a car. What does that have to do with her? I've been jumped. What does that have to do with her?
I've been hit by a
Still a
car
woman.
from women I was dating, stabbed by women I was dating.
Well, that's
Damn.
great, but I mean, I don't know how that exonerates him of wrongdoing.
No, I don't think it exonerates him. You know what I think? I think people are downplaying it now because when it came out, it sounded worse than what it was.
I think
when
people
she
are
was strapped.
downplaying it. I think people are downplaying it because they're okay with degenerate behavior. This is not new. It's not
So
new.
is it gonna take him literally killing a woman before we cross the line and go, well, maybe he's kind of crossed the line a little bit, he stabbed her or shot her. I mean, at what point in time is violence like acceptable? Well, he only grabbed her by the hair and shook her and threw her down a flight of steps and pushed her. There's nothing of that is acceptable. Zero.
What happened at the basketball game was downplayed, right? And there was a separate portion of the video that came out after he takes the girl away from the seats and into the corridor. He took a full-on swing at the bitch. You could see it. I
Yeah.
used it in about 3 videos. He took a full-on mega power Goku punch. He missed the bitch.
Even worse than that, fellas. I mean, Jules, come on. Even worse than that.
Did he miss or did she duck, Jules?
He did a hit.
It didn't land. It didn't
It
land.
didn't land, but
Oh, okay.
he did a hit and run on a pregnant woman. It doesn't get more lower than that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
Ben
just
left.
saying that even if that doesn't seem like much, it doesn't take much, and it's not supposed to take much. That's what those laws are in place for. It shouldn't take for you to have broken her ribs. It should have broken her jaw. Like, well, if he didn't break her jaw, so it's not really battery, because he didn't break her jaw. If he broke it, then if Jayo Pataya, then we can hit him with battery.
But villain, villain, you got to remember the excuse was when he did the hit and run. Isn't that what insurance is for?
Saying.
Just again, where does the line of degeneracy stop? Like, at what point in time is society and the community do we say there's like things we should not do? Every single man,
Listen,
every man
no,
on this
listen.
panel has had a
Yo,
disagreement with a woman. But the difference
yes.
is when you have a disagreement, do you walk away from it, control your emotions, or do you act like this? That's the
And I've
difference. Are
always,
you a man or are you not?
I've always maintained, if you didn't have a guy, a man, to show you how to be a little bit more stoic, you can't be
Mm-hmm.
ruled by your emotions, because
Nope.
that's women. Women are ruled by their emotions. Men, when you got a dad, whether it's a grandpa or an uncle or a son, right? Yeah, you learn like, yo, you ain't supposed to be out here crying and complaining. No, you're not supposed to throw a tantrum. You're a man. You a man. We don't
Get to
do that.
fucking work. Get to work.
We don't we don't do that. So if with him, it's just like it's very obvious. You have no control over your emotions. That's obvious. But that's true in a lot of young men. And what is the common denominator? There was not a man there to teach him, yo, relax, bro. You're not a baby. The only ones who get away with being slaves to their emotions are babies and women. That's it. We don't get away with that. When we fly off the handle because we're men, which is a big part of the reason why you're supposed to be stoic, is because we're held accountable. We're held accountable for whatever we do. Neighbor pisses you off, you go over there and destroy his mailbox. Oh yeah, you're going to jail. Yeah, you're going to jail. You want to go to jail? I
If the
guess.
neighbor doesn't beat the shit out of you, because a
No,
man will
yeah,
hold another man accountable.
yeah. That is the unwritten agreement. That is the unwritten agreement. And I never heard it explored this much because this generation has so many podcasts, but I heard it put that way, and it's actually true. It's actually true. I heard it put into words. Men have an unwritten agreement with each other because they know the violence that they are capable of. When they meet
Yeah,
each other for the first time, they do size each other up. Like, I could kill this guy. I
I've
could
heard it
take him.
another
It'll
way.
take.
The
Yeah,
other way they said it, there's an invisible line. Like we know as men when we have conversations with each other, like we could be friends, we could be acquaintances, we could be whatever, but we both know there's certain actions or words that we could say to each other where that invisible line is crossed, right? Most of that
yeah,
would be if you start messing with my wife, if you start messing with my children, irregardless who you are, you've crossed an invisible line. We know that as
exactly.
men. That's why
Yes.
women sometimes get out of pocket because they know the
Yeah,
line
they
is
have
set.
no concept of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
they have no concept of it because they live in a world. Violence for women is an option that exists on the fringe. It's a violence. It's an option that exists on the fringe. Whereas no, for men, it's a reality. If you go up to the big guy in the place, at the restaurant, at the gym, and you're shooting off at the mouth, it's your fault when you get your fucking jaw broke, bro. You started, and that's how it is. You don't get the bug out. You have to hold yourself responsible, and you have to keep your emotions in check. Now you're telling me that, oh, this woman was trying to extort you, so you got mad. Well, you should have called your lawyer. You call your lawyer, yo. This bitch
But
trying to.
Jules, that
Go
that
ahead,
that
bro.
you're asking a guy that has a developed frontal lobe to do that when this guy doesn't.
Well, he's 31 years old, so it should be developed by now. Mr. Calderon said, I bet Fanny Boxon is the type who lets co-workers be friendly with his wife at the work function. Yo, look, that dude claims to be a lawyer, but he's also a pathological fucking liar. So you never know. He probably wasn't a lawyer. He probably made the whole fucking thing up. Like the $500 million Amazon deal,
Oh yeah,
right?
that they gave Tank half a billy.
Right. Shout out to George. Wasn't it John Jones who hit the? Yeah, I heard he hit a broad. I heard he hit a
Yeah, and
broad.
that one was even crazier than Tank's fucking case.
Oh yeah, John's
Don't
hit a
they
few
beat women in
bitches.
Russia? Ain't it like still like a cultural thing there? Like
I
a
mean,
husband
not
can
because
beat his wife?
Dana slapped the bitch too. Remember
Well,
Dana
So
slapped it.
to,
Dana
well
to answer
slapped
your
Dana's
his
question,
wife
wife a couple of
Dana
times.
Dana's
smacked his
wife
wife.
slapped him first. They got the footage. She slapped him in public, and he slapped her right back.
And that's probably
to
why he's still out here. That's probably why he's still out here.
answer your question
He's
about Russia, um, I wouldn't call it a cultural thing as much as in Russia. If they call the police, if there's a domestic abuse in a house, an issue, the police show up. The police pretty much just look the other way. It's not that it's not criminalized, but as a society, they're just kind of like alcohol's involved, people are people, and they look the other way. So I wouldn't call so much as cultural, but the police definitely do look the other way when it comes to domestic.
No. I would classify that as cultural just because it encompasses the common practices within a region and what you can expect if you are there. I would call it cultural.
Fair
The
enough,
same way
but
the same way I call it cultural here, but for a different reason. It's because you have a generation of men who are mimicking their mothers instead of their fathers. You act like a woman.
Yeah, and
They can't
shout out to
ask you.
Dana.
You gotta slap these bitches, man.
Yeah,
No.
no, that was an excellent counter by Dana. Eddie better watch out, man.
Shout out
Hey,
to
but
George.
that's
I
go ahead,
like it,
George.
Talma. I like it, Talma, but he needs to fight a mover. Also saw him gasping by the third round. Granted, he was going for the KO. Was Tunde yelling, "Empty the tank"? Was Tunde wasn't there, bro?
Like
Tunde,
to me,
Tunde don't
what
train
Dana
that dude.
did was worse than what Tank did. Like that video of Dana slapping his wife. Now all those feelings you had about if that was your daughter killed it.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's awful.
I feel that.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
mean, the
awful. Yeah,
the
it's
guy
awful.
shouldn't. Honestly, the guy recovered way too fast for that. I
But
mean, McGrady's a
I don't think you. But no, all right, calm down, bro. I don't think you believe that it was worse. I think you're only defending Tank because of his skin tone.
No, I think it was worse. I think
That's the only
slapping
reason.
somebody is worse than. I think there's
So,
a
No,
difference
it's
between. I
what
not.
think
about when his
punching
wife's? What
somebody
Because
about his
Dana.
wife
versus a
slapping him
slap.
first?
All right, all right. Drew's gonna host the show.
Slapping's
Go ahead,
worse
Drew.
than the.
You got it.
Fuck you.
Go ahead. We want to hear more.
I just said, you're not gonna let a fucking broad slap you in front of all the Mexicans in Mexico, bro, and
Do
not
you
slap
I've
her
do you
been
back.
do
slapped
you
in front.
do
I've been
you
slapped
do
by
you?
women in front
No,
of
no.
people.
Listen. It's not worse because Dana's wife was not in fear of her life. Like this is silly. This is silly. It is like yeah, this is silly. Dana's wife was not fearful of her life. She didn't think she was gonna get taken off someplace. No, it's not the same thing. It's 3, 4 in the morning, and a very angry hobbit shows up at your job, and he's got his fist ball.
Somebody who's in a relationship with or is in a relationship with or
Yeah, and these
whatever,
are only
whatever
the
you say.
accidents that we know of. Imagine the ones that we don't. Like, I'm pretty sure he'd have knocked the bitch out cold like 2
She a
times.
stripper. Like
Oh
she got
yeah,
I'm
bruises
not
no.
on her
talking
and stuff
about
like.
that
What is
fine
her?
ass
What does her profession
meat.
have to do with his
Yeah.
behavior?
I'm just saying, if she was like bruised up like that,
I
like
mean, in my
stiffened, I
hood,
don't
bro, in
know.
my hood, the OGs grew schooled me. You always have a fat bitch on a team that beats your bitches up for you, so you ain't got to do this shit.
The main thing
He
is
should
that
just have
laws.
multiple women.
The main thing is that laws are not designed for the worst case scenario. They're preventative. It's not battery. Like unless you broke her rib, it's not battery. Unless she has a collapsed lung, it's not battery. Like no, it's battery is very simple because you're an adult. This is not a playground. I don't advocate for barbarism. I believe everybody should keep their hands to themselves, including women, because they're getting way too comfortable. You don't want that shit. You don't want guys acting like you're a guy. You don't really want that. You don't understand the barbarism that they're capable of, right? So it's not
but
supposed to take much. It's not supposed to take much for it to constitute battery. It's not supposed to. We don't need the worst scenario where she's got a Rocky Balboa thing on her eye. Cut me, Mick. Cut me, Mick. Cut. No. It's not supposed to take that much. The fact of the matter is, you had absolutely no reason to be there. Y'all not together. Y'all broke
the
up a
the
month ago.
the correct and only stance is always going to be irregardless. People should keep their hands to themselves. I agree with you, Dana White. Dana White slapping women on television, that's unacceptable. Tank going into a strip club and choking and hamming a woman up is unacceptable. Both can be wrong. We can accept that. Both things can be bad.
The truth is that no one knows what Gervonta Davis intended to do to that woman by trying to escort her to that car. But I don't think you need to be a genius or a criminal attorney or a detective to know what that could have become. Because in that moment where you're mad, you could do a lot of things. You could do a lot of things. Femicide, it doesn't take much. These women aren't built to be hit or to be handled so. They're actually not. They think they are because they want to be Billy fucking Badass.
Clarissa Shields.
right? But nah,
I
it doesn't take much. And the question is, once again, Gervonta, when you show up at this woman's job at 3:30, 3:40 in the morning, and you're trying to forcefully take her into the car, where are you going with her? What were you going to do? Because
He
you
was
don't
going
look
to just
happy.
he was going to
Can I get some
discuss
questions?
the tax implications from her extorting him and how it's going to affect his write offs, his
We
Yeah.
agree,
deductions.
villain. We agree on that. If those things aren't wrong, those things are wrong. But would you agree that that's a fine piece of ass? I just tagged you and Jules on Twitter and her new photo shoot.
Bro,
Well,
just ask her. Listen, Drew. You got to stop. You got to ask her out already, bro.
I'm
Yeah,
Ask
flying.
her out.
I'm
that's
going to
that's
Ask.
psycho.
Orlando.
I mean,
I'm
just
going to
ask her out,
Orlando in the
bro.
summer. I'm going to
Just
Orlando in the
all right.
summer. I'm gonna
Ask
pull
her
up at
out.
Sabora.
Listen, ask her out. Make a porno. Send it to me. I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
I'll send it to
Okay.
villain.
Drew's a
Yo,
passport,
Drew.
bro.
Every time Villain's around, right? You bring up this cornbread booty bitch, bro. Do you want to film a fucking threesome with him?
Hey,
You know
maybe I
what? I
do.
should. No, no. You know what?
I
You know
wouldn't
what?
I wouldn't give her the
No, no.
satisfaction.
Listen. Don't tempt
If
me to listen. Don't tempt me to send her a link because I will. Because I will. I
I know
get
you
that
will.
for. I'll send her a little like, hey, listen, there's this guy. He's a really good guy. He's got a long fucking cock. He really likes you.
Nice.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
No. It's just
Okay.
I love villains crusade. Whether it's degenerates on Twitter or whores on Twitter,
No,
he's
because
fighting.
listen,
He's
Yeah, we
fighting
need
a
a
good
tag
fight.
partner.
listen.
It's
I'll be
not
the buff. I'll be the Buffalo wingman. I'll say, listen, this guy, he's got a really long fucking cock. He's always coming on my show. He's always fucking talking about you. I'm sick of it. I'm just gonna try to play matchmaker, and you guys get together. Make some babies, smoke some J, whatever. I can do it. I can do it. I can facilitate it. I can
Eat
make
her
it happen.
ass.
Eat her
it's
ass,
not a
right?
it's not a crusade. I just am disgusted by arrogant whore women. It's just disgusting to me.
Yeah,
Look.
same.
I'll tell you this,
So
villain.
Villain
The
has
one
made it his life's mission.
So I'll tell you this, villain. The one aspect of your crusade that
It's not a
look, I
crusade. I
listen. This
repeat, Ring IQ audience, it's not a
campaign,
crusade. It's not a
campaign,
campaign.
Mm.
Conquest.
regime,
Quest.
conquest. The
Ugh.
one thing that does get me is the arrogance. Honest to
It's a
God, it is the arrogance because the arrogance is predicated on the scarcity of social skills of derelict incels and hermits. You only feel so empowered because there is a group of men so desperate for a woman's attention, they lower themselves and they make these fives and these sixes, right? Feel like they're nines and tens. And it is disgusting. Like, yeah, this is the most arrogant generation of women I've ever seen. The most
Yeah.
arrogant. It's
Look at
insane.
You know what it
if
is to me, Jules? It's kind of like all things. It's power, right? And it's an abuse
Yeah.
of power.
Yes.
For women abuse
Yes.
their power, like nobody really talks about it.
if these
Beauty
women
is a
were
power.
launching or helping launch nuclear warheads, I could see the arrogance. But you expanding your asshole on a camera for $6 a month, there should be no arrogance. There should only be shame. And
Yeah, and you know what? I love his passion about this. That's why I do it to him because he's
No, no.
fucking great at it.
Listen, I heard somebody say something. I heard somebody say something on an Instagram reel, and it really resonated with me because I'm old enough to remember the generation of women that complained that they were being objectified by men. That the men are sexualizing them, and the men are bustling them into the porn industry, coercing them to become these adult film entertainers. And it turns out it was all bullshit because this is the proof. That was how they commemorated the death of the OnlyFans maker. That this proves that you didn't have to coerce these women to go into the adult industry. They did so on their own, given a choice to become doctors and lawyers and biochemists and rocket scientists and all these other dignified professions. Look at the army of women in line to show you their asshole. Nobody had to coerce them. It just shows, they're full of shit. They're full of shit. We didn't
I mean,
objectify anything.
Jules, the perfect example of it is the broad who's on OnlyFans that literally said, "I made more money this year than LeBron James did." That should tell you everything.
Right? Shout out to George. The Tunde part was a joke. I know, bro. I know. Shout out to Misael. And it wasn't just Tank. There was another dude. Yeah. He fucked Tank in the ass. Misael said, Drew, pass her IG. Yeah, look, ella es bella. La mujer es bella, you know, but,
Wait,
Drew.
no, the simping has to stop. Stop the simping. Stop passing the IGs.
Villain, you know I
Scarlet
just fuck.
letters.
Villain, do I look like a guy that actually simps? No.
No,
No,
but you're encouraging
no, no,
other
no, 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 no,
simps.
no, 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 no. That's bullshit. If cornbread mommy asked you to, can she stick her finger in your ass? You would let her. Don't
I'm
fucking
talking
lie.
about she could
Don't fucking
listen.
lie.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. She could do that, but if she asked me to pay her rent, like that's simping. Like no,
Oh, all right,
fuck out of here.
all right. That's
Nah,
true. That's true. That's
that's
simping.
gay. That's gay, bro. Letting a girl stick something in your ass,
A
as
girl,
Well,
gay.
yeah,
no, what's
yeah.
gay is a man touching me. What's not gay is a woman touching me. So fuck out of here.
Listen.
Fuck.
Honestly,
It's a spectrum.
just circling back to the point where I do agree with Villain and where I do look at social media, especially Instagram, with a sort of contempt, because I do feel a sense of contempt. Is that y'all are full of shit. We're not sexualizing y'all. Y'all sexualize yourselves. That's not us doing that. It speaks to every cockamamie argument that they make. You go to the gym half naked and you're doing it for yourself. No, you're doing it for attention. You're doing it for attention, right? And it's part of that entire spectrum, that entire scope. That yo dog, a lot of these broads, they're just full of shit, and they've always been full of shit. But now it's out of control. Nobody's objectifying you. Nobody's sexualizing you. You're doing that because you're lazy, because you're selfish, because you don't want to work hard. That's all it is. Well, the easiest thing to sell is
It'd be
pussy
annoying
because you were
sometimes, to be
born with
real.
it.
So
Yeah.
It's annoying
if
sometimes, to
Diddy
be honest. Like,
if Diddy got 5 years and he wasn't on probation, is this motherfucker gonna get at least five? Cause he's it's recruiting.
Well, the
It's
thing, no, Diddy, you can't tie the domestic abuse thing to Diddy's case because the statute of limitations for battery and domestic abuse, it had already passed. That wasn't why they got him. You know what I mean? That he beat
mm,
up Cassie. The statute of limitations on that, she waited too long to press charges at that. That's not what got him. It was the racketeering and trafficking, baby oil. They're putting chloroform in the baby oil. It was a lot of other things. It wasn't the battery. She was just there as a witness to the things that he's done, the things that she knows he has done. That was really her role in it, because as far as the statute of limitations, it had passed already. He beat that bitch up a long time ago, you know?
Yeah, the video that they showed was like from 2000, I think 17. They said. So I
Yeah.
mean,
damn.
come on, yeah,
What's the statute of limitations in California? Because I think that's where it happened. It's in California. Isn't it
yeah.
like
I think the
7 years?
longest you can wait is it's something like that. It's like 7, 5 to 7, something like that. You can't
So
do it.
yeah,
You know.
but for me, it's the arrogance. Look, I'm an old guy. I'm old, so these things don't even apply to me. They don't pertain to me. This is not my world. This is Undefeated's world. This is a world for the young. This is Real Talk's world. This is a world for the young. But you kind of see why you keep hearing the same thing in different media, in the different areas of the media. They're like, yeah, guys have given up on dating. Well, look at how arrogant the women have become. They're all demigods now, and it's
I'm
only because you have a little bit of ass or a little bit of leg. You're kind of cute, and off that, yeah, you're a fucking demigod now. You're all narcissists. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
I
dude.
don't.
I'm a bit with Villain. Like we gotta stop getting to these hoes' heads, bro. For an example, I don't want to say her name, which let's just say she's with MVP and she's
Mm,
supposed to fight somebody in the UK. Yeah, you're
yeah,
fine. I would eat your ass probably, but after that, it's like, bitch, what are you gonna fight or what? We're tired of you looking fine.
the
The
guys who
thing.
can arrive. Before I pass the villain, the guys who can arrive at the conclusion that you just did are the guys who actually aren't thirsty. Because there's
True.
more thirsty guys out there. There's way more thirsty guys out there than guys who are like, nah, like, yeah, you cute, but so what? A lot of bitches are cute, man. I just fucking seen a
Exactly.
cute
There,
bitch
there,
over there. You know what I mean?
there's absolutely nothing wrong with admiring women, appreciating beauty. But the minute that you bend the knee and you act feminine and you act weak, you've lost the whole entire plot. There's nothing wrong with liking attractive women, but paying a woman is like literally the lowest
No,
form
listen, no, 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 no,
of
no, no,
like
no, no,
level
no,
of
no, no, no,
attraction.
no, no, no. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I respect a guy. I respect a guy who knows. Listen, I don't want to hear about your life. I don't want to hear about your coworkers. I don't care what your fucking father did. I don't care what your ex did. I just want a fucking blowjob. Tell me what it costs. I respect that more than bowing down and you're so beautiful. Oh my god, the star. Like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, bro. Control yourself, bro.
As Charlie
Just
Sheen said, you pay them to go away.
yeah,
Exactly.
Charlie Sheen. You don't pay a hooker for sex. You pay
Let
them
me,
to leave.
but let
Yep.
me,
Exactly. But
but
villain, like my retort, like
let
I treat my girl like that with the romance and shit.
well, that's
So that's
different.
my
That's your
girl.
girl. That's a girl.
But
That's your woman.
these whores, they're just for fun. I don't. I will never knock a working girl if she can get a sucker out of his money. More power to you, sister.
But the thing is
Inflate.
that
You're
too
inflating the
many.
ego.
I was gonna
Yep.
say that the real problem is that with the abundance of people of women that go to the gym and stay in shape and they have nice butts, right? You can't. I mean, like you're not gonna get them. Look. It's the weirdest thing with bitches. I'm pretty sure Fig knows this. Drew knows this. Undefeated knows this. I think the panel knows this collectively. The more you like her, the less she likes you. Calm
Yes,
the fuck down. If she's
Yep.
cute, don't tell her that. Don't tell her.
that's
No.
the worst thing you could do, probably.
Yep.
Ignore the
No.
bitch. Ignore
It's a
her.
Yep.
layer. Like you're
Fucking
absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
you can't be. Oh my god! When I saw you, I saw this. Yo, calm the fuck down. It's just pussy, bro.
Yeah, I hope nobody's saying Shakespeare sonnets to bitches.
Oh, I always do. What you talking about? I fucking Ignacio. You forget, bro.
I
Ignacio.
mean, come on, Jules.
No,
To be,
Ignacio.
to
La
be
verdad.
or not to be.
Ignacio, I'm a fucking theater major. Of course I was writing poetry to bitches. Come on, bro.
Yeah, but
Fuck
you're
out of
not
here.
reciting a fucking sonnet, though. Come on, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Listen.
Dust does my
It's
food be my purse, for thy mine own gay knowledge should profane if I with
holy,
time expend.
holy
Yo,
fucking shit,
hey, that was
bro.
beautiful,
Hey,
bro. That shit was
hey,
beautiful.
But the
was
thing
that
is, like,
Drake
you
on the
could tell
line?
you
Is that
like
what you're gonna
what I.
tell Cornbread? Is that what you're gonna tell
Oh,
Cornbread?
absolutely not. Nah, hell no. But like, I
What's
grew
up?
up in
Benjamin
Oakland,
Franklin.
fellas.
Through
You could
yonder window
absolutely,
bikes.
you could absolutely gas up a bitch like you a bad bitch. But I don't mean not gonna get another one, ho. Fuck out of here.
No, I mean it's. I really think that the attitudes. I really think that look. You know, I've punched above my weight a couple of times, especially when I was young. I've punched above my weight, and I don't know, but I just kind of learned from doing that that don't notice the aesthetic. They really go off of vibes. You know, like yeah, you got a segue to get in, but don't bug out off of she got a big ass. She knows she's got a big ass. You don't need her to tell her. She knows she's cute. They tell her all the time. You don't need to tell her that. They go off of vibes. How you make them feel. That's really what they go
M-
off of.
My girl just texted me. She wants to get in on this convo. Now I got to go into the fucking back room. Fuck. See
Listen,
what y'all got? See?
Here we go.
oh, it's the truth, bro. Like it's the
Yo,
truth.
girls like you for weird reasons too. That's be the thing. You never know who really
Yeah.
fucking with you.
It could
They
be a
don't like.
snort. It could be the way you laugh. Like you snort when you laugh. Like it's so cute the way he laughs.
I tell you
No,
what, they
you
don't
Bro, I
just
like
done
you
seen
for is
ugly
being a
girls. I
pathetic
done seen
simp.
giant niggas pull
listen.
bad
What
bitches.
I will say. There is no fail safe. There's no fail safe. Different women like different things for different reasons, right? There's no fail safe. But what is perhaps consistent across the board is you need to be settled into who you are. And you don't need to let them challenge that. You are who you are. Accept it. You are who you are. Don't change it. Just be who you are. Some people are gonna like it, some people aren't, but that's what works. That's what works. You get, or you're gonna be nice to the bitches. You're gonna, yeah, get the fuck out of here, bro. If you're an asshole, be an asshole. If you're
Yeah,
forgetful, be forgetful, right?
99 times out of 100, if you try to be the nice guy, you ain't getting shit.
Yeah, man. Like so this proliferation, yes, is kind of a good thing that so many young people, because this is a younger generation. It's kind of a good thing that so many young people are making a conscious effort to stay fit and stay in shape, and the people in my age group the mid 40 crowd are making a conscious decision to age gracefully. So you're ending up with a fitter generation of people, but it's the egos, bro. Like, relax, my. There's a lot of broads that have titties. There's a lot.
Yeah,
There's a
it's
lot of
like you
broads that have a big ass.
You
You
know the
gotta
You
be,
know,
best
you
though
gotta be
relax.
is when
stoic, bro.
you meet a girl and you already got a girl, but like she not your
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
Then you can get threesomes. Then you can get like
hold on.
a throuple type
And no,
situation.
and
You already
those are.
got a
I'll tell you what, Fig. That's always a
Interrupt Hello.
fortuitous. That is always a.
Hi.
What's going on, Drew's wife? What's going on? What
She
I was
says
gonna
I
say.
punched above my weight class like you too.
Hey, shout out to Rudy.
You know, it happens like, and it happens sporadically, punching above your weight class. Why? Because you're just being yourself. Somebody so happens to like it. You're just being yourself.
No,
Confidence.
that's not what happened. I got
Here
bored
you
during
go.
COVID.
shout out to COVID. You know what I'm saying?
So
Man.
so what happened? So what
Oh,
happened 6 years later?
oh,
Yeah, then he became charming. And now I can't get
yeah.
rid of him.
I'm just saying that like you gotta. It's better when you're comfortable. You're never gonna get anything done being uncomfortable. So just be comfortable. You like Pokemon cards, bro? Hey, fuck it, they're great, right? You like
But like
watching
you
anime?
said, don't tell her
Watch your.
she has a big ass because she already knows she got a
Oh
big
no,
ass.
no, 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 no. That's the other thing that let's put it this way: if you took your car to an auto body mechanic, right? And he was in there acting like it's the first time he ever worked on a car. Well, you're not gonna be happy with that, right? Like, nah, I don't want this. Can I get somebody more experienced in here to work on my car, right? It's the same with women. If you acting all brand new, like you a little bit too open, homie. Relax, relax, and and I think that's the hard part for a lot of men. They don't know how to relax. They get too you like ideas more than who's in front of you. You like the idea of shit. Like, relax, bro. Just see if you get some ass. Maybe it turns into more, but
Yeah.
relax.
Act like
Relax.
you've been here before.
Act like, yeah. Like I said, if you took your car to a mechanic and the guy's acting like it's the first time he ever worked on a car, well, you're not gonna be very fucking confident in his work, right? Hey, relax.
Absolutely not.
Relax. Calm down.
So
Enjoy.
villain, how did you woo your fucking Latina?
It was an accident. I met my wife when I was on vacation, and I
That's a
I didn't
fucking act.
I didn't speak any Spanish, and she didn't speak any English, but the international, love thing, whatever.
90
And
Day Fiance though, or what?
nah, because that would imply that I imported it here and then got married in the United States. No, I met
Oh.
my wife in Colombia, and
Oh.
I honestly had just gotten out of a bad relationship. I didn't have any interest in getting anything serious. My wife hadn't been in a relationship in like 3 years, and I guess she was charmed by some slightly chubby, grugnon, kind of, irritable like white dude. And so I really wasn't. I mean, I liked her. She was very sweet. She was very nice, but I think she realized that there was competition, that I wasn't the one who was doing all those things that turn women off, by showering with attention all the time and making her believe like she's the center of the world. But after talking to her and going back and seeing her and just realizing how good of a woman she was, she was the woman that I wanted to be with because she's got a huge heart. She's a lovely woman, a fantastic cook. I couldn't live without her now, to be honest with you. I'll
Oh,
simp for my
and
wife.
Mm,
She's a
mm.
wonderful woman, but that's not the way it started. And I think part of was is she was attracted to the confidence that I wasn't gonna, like Jules says, I'm not gonna live and die without, pussy, if you will.
It's a
And
fucking word. It's a fucking word for that. It's called being aloof. Just be aloof, bro. Just
yeah,
just relax,
but
Order your
but
food,
it was
be
that first
aloof.
papacito she told you too, though, huh?
nah,
Right?
see, nah, man, I'm older than that. I've already gone through like being better about women. So, that shit the spell wasn't gonna work on me. Because I can read when women are full of shit. I mean, I've just been in enough good relationships and bad relationships. And a lot of this works out for men when they have more time. When you have, bad relationships, good situations, poor relationships. And once you kind of realize when they're running the game on you, just like men can run games on women, once you kind of realize what's going on, I wasn't going to be sold by that. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I go back and visit my wife when we're going through the immigration process, or during the courting process, there was nothing better than seeing like a beautiful Latino woman, singing Spanish songs, dancing in the middle of a living room with kind of a plump, peach shaped ass. I mean,
Hmm.
it was a
Fucking
beautiful
beautiful.
thing. But
That's a
yeah, you
fucking
just
beautiful thing.
yeah. Hold on a second.
Uh, sh-
¿Cómo?
shout out to
Two.
George. What boxer would make a great coach when retired? Well, generally, good coaches are boxers that sucked. So I would say Rolly would be an amazing coach. Rolly? He'd be Jack fucking Blackburn, bro. He'd be amazing coach.
Bro, you gotta date girls and be friends, and you know what I'm saying, try to date them for a long time, and then when you get multiple, you know what I'm saying, you bring them together, let they
I
vibe
just
out.
think I just think composure's the biggest thing because you're funnier when you're not trying to be. You're more interesting when you're not trying to be. Like yeah, just shooting the shit. And if you shoot the shit long enough, they start thinking about what you look like naked. And before you know it, they find out. It's just shooting the shit. How much pussy can you get from just talking, polying? Like, yeah. And before you know it, a titty's gonna come out. There it is, right? Right? There it is. You know what I mean? That's how it's done. And I just think that the rise of OnlyFans has a lot to do with and I always go back to this because there are so many parallels that you can draw from it. The 25th world, that population density peaked within a colony of rats, and when it peaked, the gender roles started to change. The women became more hostile, the men became more docile. There were sections of rats, they called them the quote unquote beautiful ones, that completely removed themselves from the society, and they would just sit in a corner grooming themselves, and you kind of see that now that, well, you got girls, they make the effort, they go to the gym, they take care of themselves, but they don't want to partake in society. They don't want the guys that are out there. They feel that they're too good for everything, and that's like the beautiful ones in that colony. And if you know about the experiment, it happened I believe it was in the late 60s. If you know what happened, they all fucking died. The whole colony collapsed. Population density nosedived. And what's frightening is when you read through the experiment, there are many, many parallels to draw between how those rats were behaving once population density peaked and how people are behaving now. Less and less people want to have a family. Less and less young people even want to get into relationships. The new thing now that you see in the media is men have completely given up on women. They don't want to date. They don't want to bother. They don't want to approach them. They don't want to go out. They don't want to do nothing. That's where it's at. A lot of the women, they don't want to bear children. They don't want a husband. They don't want the nuclear family. This is something that, especially Americans, this is something that Americans aspired to not that long ago, not anymore. The American dream of the nuclear family with the dog and the house and the fence, yeah, that's antiquated. Now what they want to do is binge watch Walking Dead while playing with themselves with the latest vibrator. Right? Like, yeah, what people want now is just very different. They just want the liberty to just fuck off all day. The goals are different, and that could lead to population collapse because if you look at what's happening globally, there's a very similar problem in Japan. There's a very similar problem. They're not copulating and procreating as quickly as they need to. Something similar is happening in Germany. And it is happening here. It's like, yeah, like, the people don't want to fuck each other. Well, they want to fuck each other, but they don't want to do nothing. They don't want to build anything from the fucking. And it's scary because, yeah, that's what happened in the experiment. Population density peaked and then it nosedived, and every rat in the colony died. It's fucking scary.
Yo, Jules, real quick. Did you ever get a chance to watch that video that I told you about that they talked about that in Japan?
Oh, no, I didn't get to see that. What happened?
The one where they went to a little town in Japan where literally the population was like less than 1,000 people, and basically like 75% of the people who live there were all like above the age of 70. Like there
Oh, the
was
old people.
no
Yeah,
young
yeah.
people. There was no young people because all the young people had gone to the bigger metropolitan cities, and nobody was living there and procreating. And they asked I think it was the prime minister. They were interviewing the prime minister, and the prime minister was being asked, like, okay, you guys are having these problems where a lot of your small cities are dying out because a lot of your population is getting older and you're not having as many kids that you guys used to have before. What are you going to do about it? Well, we're trying to encourage our young people to procreate, blah, blah, blah. Like, basically saying, like, yeah, we're trying to fix the problem. And then the guy asked him straight out, he's like, would you ever allow immigration to come to your country? He said, fuck no.
Fuck no.
He
Fuck
said no.
off.
He said our nation is 100% homogenous. We do not want
And I don't mind. And I
multiple
don't mind
immigration.
that. That's what
Yeah,
makes the world a beautiful place. And look, I don't want to go. Listen, I'm Dominican, right? So nobody could get fucking offended when I say this. I don't want to go to Japan and see fucking Dominicans. You got Dominicans over here. What the fuck? I want to go to Japan. I want to see Japanese. I want to go to Germany. I want to see Germans. I want to go to Britain. I want to see Brits. That's what I want to see. I don't fucking want to see. Oh no, yeah, all the Dominicans flooded fucking Japan. Well, then it's not Japan anymore.
yeah,
It's not Japan anymore. No, porque la vaina. What the fuck? I want them to stay homogenous, but that's a very palpable problem that they have. That they have real estate that's going for dirt cheap because old people die out, and
yeah,
there's not enough young people buying up these properties and these houses, so they got whole shits that are super duper cheap. Somebody could go over there and make a killing. You
yeah.
know?
I read an article not too long ago where literally they were doing that in Italy. They were advertising for people to move into like smaller cities in Italy, and that they would literally sell you these beautiful fucking houses for almost nothing. But you had to live there for like, I
Yep.
think it was 5 years in order to keep the property.
Yep.
Mm.
You really, because they don't want you to just go there and fuck the bitches. They really want you to
Oh,
assimilate. They
yeah.
want you to live there, work there, speak the language, pay the taxes. They want you to assimilate, which is a little more than just stopping by, pumping and dumping, and then going back to America. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. I'll be right back. Maybe I'll send Double A link because he keeps asking for a link. I don't know what he keeps asking me for a link for.
Villain wants one too, Jules.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
yo,
think
where's
a lot of the reason people don't want to have kids here anymore is just how expensive it's got. Like,
motherfucking
it's
expensive as
fucking
hell?
For
ridiculous.
sure. The economy and the way everything's gone up is just absolutely nuts.
Bro, fucking rent
Yeah.
prices, mortgage prices. People
The
telling me they
food,
mortgages went up
gas,
and shit.
everything,
Like,
bro. Yeah. Like it's absolutely
yes.
nuts. So yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I understand that these younger kids don't want to, but it's like Jules said though too, man. These females out here are doing way too fucking much, and it's like, and it never used to be like that. Like you never had these women thinking they were the greatest fucking thing since sliced bread, to this extent, like they do now. Like all this shit I see on social media with these females is nuts. It's like, how the fuck is a chick who's a 4? How does she think she's an 8 or a 9? That's the thing that fucking trips me out. It's like, what? Like, what the fuck is going on with this world when you got these chicks who are nowhere
Power
near?
trips, man. Just
Yeah.
when people get power, bro, it corrupts them. Most people, I think 95% of people should be in power to have power. So it's like, when you get people like that, they're going to abuse it. The problem is, like, meekness is not really a virtue that's taught in the society. Like,
Well,
being
yeah, a lot of
strong
times it's ego. A lot of times it's ego is what comes into play too, for sure. But yeah, that shit was fucking crazy. I was gonna tell Jules too about how the way he was talking about how like a lot of these dudes are just like, fuck these broads, we ain't doing nothing with them. Like you see these videos on YouTube now where like these females are literally crying about how no dudes are going to like these single mixers, they're not approaching them in fucking restaurants, they're not approaching them in bars, they're not doing shit. And it's just kind of comical because it's like, well, this is what fucking happens when you females try to act like you think you got like so many options and shit. eventually motherfuckers gonna be like, well, fuck you then. We don't need you.
Shit, after my last relationship, I'm kind of at that point where it's like I'm not looking for a relationship, and because it's just stressful. It's just like
I mean, yeah, it
throughout
comes a
all my
time.
20s, I was in a relationship, and I just thought back and sat there and like, man, I just wasted like a bunch of years trying to work shit out with
Yeah,
fucking these
look at
women
all
that
of
ain't
you.
go nowhere.
Look at
This
all of
hoe was just left, and it's just like, bro, this shit's just stressful, bro. Like, I'm trying to be stressed. Like, the
you.
best
Look at all
work
the
get out of me
years.
right now is some dick. That's about it. Get some dick, shit.
Yeah, you look at all the.
Be cool,
Look at
kick
all
it
the.
a little bit. Get out of here. All this stressful shit. It's like, nah, bro, that shit for the birds.
Before you know it, you done been with her for damn near 9 years. Like, goddamn.
Right.
Yeah, no
Fucking just
shit.
wasting years and then hoes leave. It's like, bro, fuck.
Well, I know
Just
dudes
a waste of time.
personally. I know dudes that I knew from when I was younger that they did shit ass backwards. Like they literally ended up hooking up with a female when they were younger. They got together. They might have gotten married or they were in a long term relationship. Probably had some kids and shit. But then eventually, like when they're in their mid-20s, shit didn't work out. They're single and then they're trying to like party and live their 20s after they've already been like tied down in a relationship. And it's like, bro, it doesn't work that way. A lot of times it's kind of hard to put yourself back out there when you've been tied down to one person for so long.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, that's just like sales talking to women. It's like the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with doing that shit.
Oh yeah,
You
for
know what I
sure,
mean?
it's practice for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, if you ain't doing that shit, you just gotta get back out in the groove of doing that.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, then you gotta take people on dates, and it's just like, bro, fuck all
Yeah,
this.
that shit's not
Motherfuckers
cheap
calling you with
either,
their
bro. That's the thing
problems.
too. A lot of these, it's just crazy, man. Like you be seeing these females talk about like, oh, like you got to take me somewhere expensive on the first date. Fuck that. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be with your ass. Why would I fucking
Real
drop
talk,
all
bro.
kinds of
You know
money
what
on
I
you
do?
just to get to know you?
Hey, dog. You know what I was doing? I used to take bitches to the pond and feed. They had geese and ducks at the pond, and just buy a loaf of bread, and we just feed the ducks, and then I just talk to them.
Yo, round one. Yeah, yeah,
That shit work, bro.
yeah. Round one. Fanon is the dude that it wasn't BFTB. He told that. He told Blue Blood that he had a vision. This is what Blue Blood said. He said Fanon hit him up. And he said he had a vision that they needed to have sex to save.
Nah, don't even start that. There's no way.
He said
Get
that,
the
bro.
fuck out of here.
Blue Blood said that he couldn't fuck with Fanon no more, and that was why. That's literally what he said in the video. Now,
Wow.
So like what?
so
Jesus told them to stick into the back pipe or something, and
listen,
that's the only way to
you know
save the
the alien that
PBC.
you know the Mormons, right? In Utah,
Yeah,
Joseph Smith, he goes in the
yeah,
forest.
the bush thing. Yeah.
Moroni goes up to him. I guess that Moroni also told Fanon that he needs to go digging in Blue Blood's ass for the answers. So
Hey, you don't remember the South Park episode? Joseph, what was it? Fucking, like Joseph Smith was a prophet. Dum 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 dum. You
right?
never fucking. That shit was fucking funny, bro.
So
So the secrets, all the secrets of the world are in Blue Blood's asshole, and the
and
only way
his
to unlock
colon.
them,
And his colon.
is digging.
The key is Fanon's dick to
Um,
unlock the secrets. It's quite the visual.
yeah, I guess. Yeah,
But
that can't be real. I don't want to
listen,
believe that's true.
listen, that Blue Blood said it is real. Whether or not it really happened is something else. But that Blue Blood said it, yeah, I saw the video. He said it. He said that.
What level of confidence of a man do you have to ever have that conversation with another man?
Well, did you see when he had a nervous breakdown on
I
camera?
heard about it, but I didn't see anything. He seems stable.
He's not. He's
No,
not.
I'm
He's
kidding.
medicated.
No, he doesn't seem stable at all.
Listen, that was high grade sarcasm because I thought you really believed you like the
No,
guy's nuts. If you
no,
didn't
yeah,
see if
He's
you
a
didn't see it,
he's
that guy's
unhinged.
nuts.
He's unhinged. Sometimes he has good points. Like he
nope.
was talking about the Thurman fight and like how he was delusional, thinking that like he was like robbed after the press conference because they stopped it too early.
How
Yeah,
how
like
how could you?
he has lucid moments. Most of the time he can function. All right,
Yeah, well, so
he
did Hannibal Lecter, but
right.
Hannibal Lecter needs to be in prison too.
He's a high functioning psychopath, but
Clearly,
when he had that nervous breakdown and he shows his man boobs, off
yeah.
of that, I don't rule out that he might have told Blue Blood that shit. Like, yeah, I don't rule it out. Anything is possible if you believe, and if he believed that shit, they got to save boxing, villain. That's what they got to do.
And
Fucking tuna fish, man.
I guess that's the only way. So,
No, yeah, you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
are you saying that if Fanon would have had relations with Blue Blood, then Tank Davis would have been choking, he would have been in strip clubs at 4 a.m.? Is that what you're implying?
That's exactly what I've been saying the whole time. That's what I've been
Okay.
getting at. It's been a build up to that moment.
So, is it fair enough to say you not supporting that homoerotic relationship? You are actually the result and the reason why Tank Davis choked a stripper at 4 a.m.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I mean.
So you ultimately are culpable then.
It's always been my fault.
Okay.
It's always been my fault.
It checks out.
It makes sense. So with Thurman, could it have gone on a little longer? By the rules of boxing, I maintain it could have gone on a little longer. He was moving, he was punching, holding where he could. It could have. I've seen fights go on where the guy was in a worse way than Thurman was. Right. I think that Thomas Taylor ended it mercifully because he knew this isn't going to get better. You're not turning this around. This isn't going to get better, Thurman. That's why he stopped it. But could it
Yeah,
have gone on?
I wasn't angry at the
Yeah,
stoppage.
it could have gone on.
His face looked like a grapefruit had busted open. I mean, what was the end result going to be besides possibly a coma?
Well, him getting knocked the fuck out, like clean.
Right.
That's probably the only end result that would have happened. That's why it's comical to hear him say, "Oh, they stopped that shit too early." No, you weren't doing shit.
The funny thing about that is when he said that during the press conference, he takes a cold compress and puts it on that grapefruit of his face immediately afterwards. I can't believe why they stopped the fight. This guy's delusional. They don't know where they're getting these guys out of a Cracker Jack box. And then he takes that cold compress and his face is like halfway falling off, like dripping
He,
blood. He's like, I can't believe they stopped it.
he
What's
was
the
he
nerve of
was
that
starting to
fucking
sound
guy?
he was starting to sound like Wilder, low key, like how when Wilder lost.
Nerve of that guy.
Well, he is
Yeah.
delusional because after the press conference, he said he's not retiring. He said he's still going to keep fighting.
Yeah,
Well,
I
yeah,
wish he
he
would
needs
have
to go
got knocked
back.
out. Then we wouldn't have to
He
deal
needs to
with
go
this.
back and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize. He needs to go back and fight like Ham and Eggers back in Australia. That guy can make a mint doing that. Just do one
Honestly,
of
he
those
could.
tournaments. Just go around and beat up like C-level club fighters. He'll feel like a rock star if he does that.
Take a page out of Winky Wright's playbook. Winky Wright toured Europe for a little bit, made good money out there. That's the only thing
Yeah,
that's left for Thurman is domestic level fighters from different regions because you clearly don't want to be the gatekeeper in America. Like Boots gets his hands on you, he's going to turn you into a lasagna. Virgil, same thing. Charles Conwell, any one of those guys at 54 that is they're 54. They'll turn him into fucking spaghetti. But if you go abroad, you fight a couple of Estonians, right? Couple of Australians, yeah, you might clean up.
So Jules wants him to fight Richard Bolotniks in England.
Yes. Isn't there like an island of Ireland, like mid-level belt he can fight for. There's always those obscure,
Oh yeah, he could do that shit in the UK. He could fight fucking what's that dude's name? Ted Cheeseman, and make some money. You
Right?
know?
He
Yeah,
just
like
go. You need to do some crunches before you do any fucking thing.
right. But that's all that's left for Keith. Circling back to the Gervonta Davis shit because we really got away from it. I just don't see how you win that case, fellas. I don't see how you can win that case. To
You
be
know what
honest,
would be the smart thing, Jules, is if his attorney went to the DA and just said, "Give us a fucking plea and like let's knock this shit out. Like why
They're gonna
waste
break.
our money and time? You know
Yeah,
They're gonna.
yeah.
that
They're
would
Money
be
gonna.
the smart
talks.
play.
Money talks.
Garb,
House arrest. I think it's house
They're
arrest.
gonna.
Garb.
They're gonna break them charges down. They're gonna break them down. He'll get a little punk ass probation or some shit with an ankle bracelet. It ain't gonna turn out like it ain't gonna turn out crazy. I bet it
I
won't.
think he's getting. Herb. I think he's getting 2 to 3. You didn't see that they released the statement after the video came out. We're disappointed. That video doesn't tell the whole story. Well, what part of the story is supposed to make it okay for you to hem this bitch up? What's the part we need to hear about that is going to
When
make
they
this shit okay?
when they want to make an example, but I don't know if you guys ever been to court, man. They're all friends. Like the public, you know,
DA,
like
No, no, yeah,
the
no, they
DA,
are.
the judge,
yeah,
your public
No,
defender.
they are. They are.
Like
It's just that he's had so many run-ins already. It's hard to imagine he beats it. That's my whole
right.
point. It's
That's what
been
I'm saying.
so
So when
many
it's
already
public,
that
it like they have to set they want to make an example. I feel like sometimes.
yeah, that this guy's had run-ins like this. He's got a long history of this, and once again, if they want to put him in jail, I just don't see what he can say to stop them. I don't see what are you gonna say? What?
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
he's
see
gonna
what
get house arrest. He's gonna get house arrest, bro. I feel like.
he already got
yeah,
He
house
already
arrest.
had that, bro. He already had that from the hit and run,
And he violated it.
and he
Remember, he
violated
has
that shit.
I I guess I don't know, bro. Like I said, I don't presume to see all ends. I'm not an expert in legalese, but I'm just saying a
yeah.
lot of what you're suggesting, they did that already.
Yeah, they slapped him on the wrist already numerous times. So I think at some point they have to throw the book at his ass.
And think
Shut
about it too. Some of his biggest bullshit is because of the females that he was messing with, bro.
George, if it's Cassius Clay versus today's cruiserweights, right? Which is a very top heavy division, by the way. He can beat Arsene Goulamarian, bro. He can beat Chris Billum Smith. Yeah. You know? Would he beat Jayo Pataya? Listen, he's the fucking greatest. Yes, I'm picking Cassius Clay to beat Jayo Pataya. Yes, I am. I think he can beat these guys. But it is important to note if you're going to think about this realistically, Cassius would be smaller than or leaner than these guys. Because some of these guys are really just uh 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 heavyweights who don't want to fight heavyweights. Some of these guys, like when Lawrence Okoli was there. You got a guy 6'4", 6'5", that kind of reach. You can fight a heavyweight. It took him a while, but he finally moved up. But yeah, Cassius would be on the leaner end of the spectrum in today's cruiserweight division. He would be because he wasn't a big guy when he was young. He was a tall guy, 6'3", but he wasn't a big guy.
Yeah, he never got. I think the heaviest he ever weighed as a heavyweight was in the high teens, and that was like towards the end of his career.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
220 something, I think he weighed. The
No, Jules, I
heaviest.
could have sworn that like when he last fought against Trevor Burbick, I could have sworn they said he only weighed in at 219.
And I think for the Frazier fight, don't quote me, but what didn't he weigh like 201 in the Frazier fight?
There was a few fights in the 70s where he was barely over 200. Like he never went over like 210 for the most part.
And that's
Well,
why I say that. And that's
Tyson wasn't that big either.
not, but Tyson was 220 something though. He was he wasn't a big guy.
He was
Generally he wasn't a
husky.
big guy, but he's a stocky guy. But he was at least 2 and change, like 220 something. And that's a big part of why I maintain Usyk would beat Holyfield's era of cruisers. That if they fought at cruiser, Usyk would win because Usyk actually came from a deeper cruiserweight division than Holy did. Those were smaller men. Some of those guys was 180 something. Those were smaller men in cruiserweight at that time. Usyk is fighting guys that they're a nose hair from heavyweight.
Holyfield is a 15-round fighter now.
Yeah, that matters. That does matter. That does matter. That's a big
Muhammad
factor
Ali,
for me.
Muhammad Ali was 236 against Trevor Berrick. Berrick weighed 218.
Oh shit, my bad.
No, yeah,
I
but
thought it was the other way
By the
yeah,
around.
time he
but
was
yeah,
by the
but you
time he
gave it
was that
away.
old, he was like in the 20s.
Yeah, like you gave it away, villain. The Burbick fight was his last fight, like so.
Yeah,
Yeah, he let
probably
him.
wasn't in great shape. Well, put
Yeah,
it this
like
way: he weighed 217 against Larry Holmes. So I mean,
Oh, there
he
you go.
came in flabby and fat against Berbick, but yeah, he shouldn't have been in the ring anyways.
yeah. By then, he shouldn't have been in the ring with Holmes or Burbick. By that
No,
time, like he's being held
Yeah,
together
he should have
like
retired
pills.
after the third Frazier fight.
Yeah,
Nah,
like
That's when he should have
after
retired.
Shavers, definitely did.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with Gervonta. I don't know if you guys heard the news about the cancellation. We talked about it at the very beginning of the show. The cancellation of Mayweather versus Pacquiao too, because
Really?
Floyd wants
Oh,
it.
now
Yeah,
was
word.
it? Now, do you think it was canceled because because Mayweather came out and said this is not going to be a sanctioned fight? Do you think that Netflix
yes.
just said, "Nah, we're good. We have no interest in having anything to do with
Yes,
this"?
yeah, of course, because Netflix are the ones running the show, and the details are going to come out. We'll probably hear about them in the morning. But if what you signed on for was a real fight, you don't get to
Yeah.
hold it to ransom afterwards and say, "Well, no, I want it to be an exhibition." It looks like you're trying to hardball them to where, "Oh, well, if you don't do it the way I want to do it, then we're not doing it." And they telling you, "Okay, I guess we're not doing it because we're not
You
paying for
basically
that."
tell him go fuck yourself.
Yeah, yes, we not doing it because we not
Yeah.
paying for that. You
Netflix
know,
ain't airing
Yeah.
no
Mayweather,
fights.
Mayweather, Mayweather once said like, "Oh, legacy, you can't eat with legacy." But then like, because of the fights that Pacquiao was taking, like the professional fights. But now look at him. He's fucking doing the same thing, bro. You know,
go ahead,
trying to.
Herb.
Damn, I forgot what I was going to say,
Nah,
man.
bro, I would disagree with that. I would disagree with the statement you just made because Manny is nowhere near as financially in trouble as Floyd is. You don't hear about Manny having to sell properties just to get
Listen,
by.
listen.
And man, he don't
Let's
buy a
keep it
bunch
a
of
bean.
bullshit.
Floyd, no, but Manny is very bad with money, and there are stories. He's very bad with
Oh
money.
no, I've told you
Uh,
a few, Jules. He is. Yeah.
now, what I was gonna say was Floyd's whole legacy bullshit. That was just another excuse for you to be a coward because you do eat off a legacy. You do. Why do you think Mike Tyson was able to rake in $20 million at his age for a waltz? Because of the legacy, because of his name, and what it still means. Listen, people could think what they want about his career, but that's a guy who electrified in the sport in a way that very few people ever did and very few people ever will. That is legacy. That is why he was able to lose it all and get it back because of legacy, right? This bullshit, the legacy and the money go hand in hand. Only the cowards try to separate it. That it's either legacy or money. No, if you have a legacy, you'll make money. The question is, are you good enough? And that's where that's where the part that they're not going to tell you is no, a lot of you aren't good enough. A lot of you are not Crawford. A lot of
Yeah.
you are
Well,
not
look,
Usyk.
look, look. I don't know if I explained myself correctly. I was saying that he was talking shit. That he was saying that like Pacquiao needs to fight because he needs to make money. You know what I mean? Like, oh, and I just fight
Yeah,
to make
yeah,
exhibitions. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and
But that's more bullshit. The truth is, I think they're both strapped for cash. I think they
Hmm.
both are. To me, like Manny being broke is not a headline because people know, like, yeah, Manny's terrible with money. He's got no mind for business. It's a shock with Floyd because Floyd's whole thing was, well, I made smart investments. Smart investments. My investments are smart, super smart. Pass the SATs. I own real estate in New York. I make 300 million a month, right? That's why it's a shock. Like, damn, Floyd, you broke? How fuck does that happen? Shit. But
That's why that's why it comes back to boxing because he wants money.
yeah.
Where does Netflix get off one of the air exhibition fight and pay you millions of dollars for that shit?
He's
That
arrogant.
never.
Well, because for Netflix, like Netflix is finally, it seems like somebody over there is starting to understand. You have one of the biggest megaphones, if not the biggest megaphone in streaming right now. So, if they did Pacquiao Mayweather, if it all worked out and they did the fight, it would be big, Herb. Like, yeah, a lot of people, I'm not telling you people would be excited. I'm not even telling you it would be a good fight. But would people watch it? Yes, because all these fucking people have Netflix. They all have that shit. Everybody has that shit. So everybody will watch that shit. Good or bad. It would be big if they did it. It would be big. But because it's
But
Netflix, which I've maintained for many weeks now, you're not gonna make nowhere near what you made for the first one on Netflix. On Netflix, I think they may be giving you 20 and 40, bro. It's a flat number. It's a flat number. It's not like before. It's a flat number. But your ass need it because you owe a lot of people a lot of money, you know?
So when Ali fought, like it wasn't on pay per view because I have looked at the viewership. It's like in the millions, bro. Like when he fought against fucking Foreman, like
Yeah.
it's like so that was before pay per view, right?
Yeah, before closed circuit, yeah, before that. And it was a different dynamic. Like you have to imagine a very different time because everything was not exactly the same. The marketing wasn't exactly the same either. That if you were pulling in those kinds of numbers now, you wouldn't necessarily even need to do pay-per-view because the ad revenue would be astronomical. You're talking about NFL numbers. The ad space would the NFL, like the Super Bowl is the best example. Why do Super Bowl ads cost so much? Because at any given moment during the Super Bowl and during the halftime show, there's hundreds of millions, there's over 100 million people watching, right? So if you're pulling in those kinds of numbers with boxing, hypothetically, you wouldn't need pay-per-view. The ad blocks would be so fucking valuable, you could completely phase out pay-per-view. But boxing clearly isn't there anymore. It's like no, you're not pulling 100 million people with a boxing match. On average, you're not anyway. Shout out to George. Ali's weight, prime Ali 189, 214, 70s Ali 212, 236. Yeah. That's the difference between Cassius and Muhammad. But yeah, just imagine if boxing were pulling super NFL numbers, right? NFL is now America's pastime. It replaced baseball because that used to be America's pastime. If boxing were pulling in NFL numbers, yeah, they'd make most of their money off the ad revenue, off of different companies and different brands paying to advertise their products during a boxing match. The problem boxing has is it doesn't bring in viewership like that. Even when you put it on regular stuff, it just doesn't. It needs to go back to that to restart that process. But the other thing about that process, it would be a long process. If you start it now, maybe in 5 to 10 years, you take it back to where it's normal for 5, 6, 7, 8 million people to watch a boxing match because it would take a long time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, all the guys, all the guys who became stars in the '80s, it took them a long time fighting on network TV before they became stars. So it
Yeah.
didn't happen overnight. But the thing is, too, a lot of those guys were fighting multiple times a year, versus these
Yep.
fucking guys fighting once, maybe twice a year.
And that's because
And
these fucking guys get paid too much, is the other thing, Ignacio. If you giving a guy 3 and 4 for a single fight, yeah, he's gonna want to take the rest of the year off. Of course, yeah. They
Yeah,
get
for
paid too
sure.
much.
and
But then,
also the
Jules, I
'90s.
always go back. Oh,
Go ahead, my
I
bad.
just
Go ahead.
wanted to say really quick, the classic example I always go back to is the De La Hoya year of '97 when he fought 5 times.
Five
He
times.
literally he literally got paid smaller purses in the non pay-per-view fights and then got huge money for the pay-per-view fights. But people act like he got paid fucking $10 million every time he fought.
No, and
Yeah.
that and you know That's what they need to get away from because obviously the value of every show is not the same. So a fixed rate to an individual fighter is counterintuitive that, oh, well, you're going to get a minimum of 3. But what if the fucking fight is only worth 2? If Boots goes out there and fights a Lima and you're guaranteeing this guy hypothetically 3 mil, well, that's money down the fucking drain because that ain't
Yeah,
a $3
you're
million
already in the
fight.
negative.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bro,
that
the
ain't a
you're
90
already in the
the
hole.
90s the 90s pay-per-views were stacked.
yeah.
Like it was like I think even what's his name? Uh Chavez was like an undercard
Yeah, he was an undercard
before
fighter.
the
He was on
before
Mike
the
Tyson's undercards.
that's
He
what
was
I'm
on Mike
saying.
Tyson's
Like
undercards.
yeah, so you
Yeah.
don't see that. You don't see that anymore.
Well, that's because everybody thinks they're a superstar now. There's no hierarchy that the promoters are to blame in a way. The fighters too, because they all have the same delusions of grandeur that they can all go on to become pay-per-view fighters. And what you're seeing is reality didn't change. They can put as many of you on pay-per-view as you want, and you're all gonna bring in abysmal numbers because you're all not box office. You can try to force it, but it won't work. You don't determine who's pay-per-view worthy. We do. We always have.
So what do you guys think will be the numbers for Benavides Zurdo?
You look,
100.
you gotta ask the homies because on one end, I say Benavides is not a big draw. Zerto's never been a big draw, but Canelo's not fighting that weekend. He normally fights that weekend. So if the homies is thirsty for a boxing match, bueno, yo están peleando. And you got Jaime on the undercard. Maybe they'll, but maybe. And once again, I don't know. Y'all have a better understanding of whether or not they will buy that than I do. But I'm just thinking that, well, if you're a boxing fan and you guys normally get together on Cinco de Mayo weekend to watch a boxing match, Canelo's not fighting, but this guy is.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
they'll
thought
buy it.
I think 300K. I don't know. That's like my or
What do you think, Ignacio?
Honestly, I don't think he gets anywhere near that number he just said. I'm
No,
thinking no. I'm thinking max 150 to 2.
because you got Jaime on the undercard. You got Jaime fighting Resendiz.
Yeah, but that's never been a thing like with especially with the Mexican boxing fans, Jules. Like they've never quote unquote cared that much about the undercard. Like to them it's always been about who's in the main event. And to be honest with these two fucking guys, unless you're a hardcore boxing fan, you're not going to be able to sell this to the Mexican to the non-hardcore fan because they're going to be like, "Well, who the fuck's David Benavides? Who's
No, y
Gilberto
también, no, y
Ramirez?"
también hasta si lo conocen. The other thing is, this isn't Barrera Morales.
Yeah,
Those guys,
exactly.
those guys didn't like like Barrera and Morales. They didn't like each other. Like they really didn't like each other. Whereas things are really cordial with David and Zerto. It's just like y'all too cool. Like this stuff, y'all ain't even mad at each other. So it doesn't have that sizzle
Yeah.
that fight
Yeah, it
had.
doesn't.
They need that shit talking, bro. They need that
I
shit
got
yeah.
a
talking.
Yeah.
That
question.
shit boring.
I got a question for the panel. So let's say Xander Zayas beats Boots, right? Do you believe that if he beats Boots and you got Benavides beats Ramirez, do you see any likelihood in the future, next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, because Canelo will retire? Is there any way that Zayas becomes the face of Latino boxing?
Could he become the face
Yeah.
of Latino boxing? Yes, but him and David may as well be on Mars, you know? He's like, you're on Mars. Like, David has nothing to do with Xander's trajectory. I would sooner expect Jaime to be a palpable reality for Xander down the line. Let's call it 3, 4 years. By then, though, you do have to understand Jaime might be a gatekeeper by then. You see?
I mean,
Or
he
he
might be
might
a
be a
gatekeeper
cruiserweight
now.
himself, Jules.
Yeah.
You
That's
know.
another possibility. But
Does
you got to think about those guys that are at 60. Anyone in between 54 and 68 is a palpable reality for Xander Zayas. I would sooner say that Xander's a super fight that could be his super fight beyond this is Virgil. Is Virgil.
Yeah.
And look, they don't fuck with Virgil like that right now. But synergy is a thing that if you told the Chicanos, if you told the the Mexicans aren't gonna give a fuck. But the Chicanos, the Jono Sabos, if you told them that Xander is fighting the Puerto Rican, they're gonna show up. Yeah, they're gonna show for that. They're gonna show up. It's
Well,
like,
Jules, it's a lot like Trinidad against De La Hoya. There was a
yeah,
guy who there was a guy who was covering the boxing match that literally said, Mexico Puerto Rico has always been a way to sell a boxing match. He goes, but in this instance, he goes, we had a dude from the island. He's all, but he was facing a kid from East LA. He's like, he's not full Mexican, but he's Mexican enough. We'll claim him for this fight.
telling you,
That's what they're gonna do
you
with Virgil.
yeah, just just
That's all.
just off of the synergy. Just off of the synergy. Like I could see that being big later. Virgil's got his problems right now. I don't, I don't really know what's gonna happen with that. I think that Rick and Virgil, they're gonna have to bulk. Like, bro, they have a deal. Your whole case was they don't have a network, so they don't have a place for me to fight, so I could leave. Well, they have a network, bro. Just kiss the rings and get a date. Yeah, kiss the rings and get a date, bro. Unless you want to sit out, unless you want to not do shit else this year, kiss the rings and get a date, bro.
How
Unless
long is
you
his
want to be,
contract? Sorry,
uh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, unless you want to be like Mikey Garcia or Andre Ward, then you're better off fighting.
How long is his
Yeah.
contract? Anybody know how much time he has left on his contract with De La Hoya?
2027 is what they said. It
So,
expires next year.
so that means they signed a 2-year contract with the Zone. Does that mean potentially if he doesn't want to fight, he's going to sit on the shelf for 2 years?
If he's a moron.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
29, so you're telling me he's not going to fight again until he's 31? Not a good option.
No, listen, if he's a fucking moron, now here's the thing. Rick, I don't even know why he's trying to make, like, you don't have dignity, Rick, but Rick is trying to make amends. He is trying to make amends. He showed the text messages. We need to talk, Oscar, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you do need to fucking talk. Yeah, you need to fucking talk. You better believe you need to fucking talk. You better lick Oscar's ass and his balls. So
Suck
you
on
could
his
get in.
hemorrhoids while you're at it.
I'm telling you, like, yeah, because you orchestrated this whole fucking debacle. This is all your fault. So yeah, you better lick Oscar's ass.
Yeah, Rick is responsible for this clusterfuck.
He is like the
Mm.
whole thing.
Yeah.
And supposedly, Fundura's not going to fight outside of PBC.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
that's what
already knew that, bro. We knew that fucking his snake oil salesman manager was not going to let him fight anybody outside that.
listen. Water is wet. The sky is
You don't think he
blue.
could get Virgil? Because Golden Boy and PBC
Yes.
kind of working together now. You don't think he could get Virgil?
This is what I'll say. I used to think he would get Virgil. I'm talking about like a few weeks ago. I thought he would get Virgil, but in the post-fight interview, Samson started making excuses, and I could hear it like, of course Samson. Samson's a lot of things, but he has a good eye for talent. He does know boxing, and he knows Virgil is all wrong for Sebastian. Yeah, he's all wrong for him. He's gonna come forward in a mid-high guard, catch and shoot out of that high guard, crash the pocket, throw hooks, throw uppercuts. He's all wrong for Sebastian. All wrong. Samson knows that. He don't want to make that fight. He doesn't
I
want to
don't
make.
know that, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
he
how
wouldn't make that fight
Sebastian,
unless he was cashing out Fondora.
He doesn't
how
want.
Sebastian is like his
Come
power
on,
look.
Fig. Who is he
Come on.
doing this to, bro? Who is he? Cordell Booker, Keith Thurman.
I mean,
Come
Virgil
on, bro.
Bruise is easy, man. Like,
I know, but strategy. If you got a guy who's that much taller than you, you're not supposed to stay on the outside of him. But that's what Cordell Booker did, and that's what fucking Thurman did. All I'm saying is Virgil wouldn't do that. Virgil is
I
gonna
know
fight
he
the
wouldn't,
fight.
but I don't. Do you trust Virgil Chin? For
Not really.
I don't. I don't.
I
Like
think
if
it's
if
I think
Fundora
it's
landed them
chin.
uppercuts when he came in, right? Came in with eye guard.
But
Say
also,
Fundora
But
leaned back, threw an
but
uppercut.
also this fig. Also this fig. It's not like Thurman got knocked out or knocked down. Like knocked out cold. If you're talking about Fundora's power, is what I'm saying. He was
And
fucking
Yeah,
up
I'm just
Thurman.
saying, like when he lands on people, they get disfigured, bro. Like you see what he did to Lubin? Like fuck it, just
Yeah,
but
same
remember, Lubin
suit.
put him on his ass,
I
yeah.
mean, but
and so
still,
did
like it's
Brian
like
Mendez beat
rough.
his ass too. So
Yeah,
and I
that's
don't think Brian Mendez is as good as Virgil Ortiz.
there.
hey, but
That's what I was
also,
about to
He's
say.
not.
That's what I
if
was
you get
about to
knocked,
say.
also if you get knocked down, it's not like like Marquez has gotten knocked out multiple times, but he never got knocked out. So we'll have to just wait and see if Virgil is
I'm
gonna.
just look. Just go back and watch Virgil, because Virgil does get hit. And being fair, he does get hit.
Mhm.
But his fundamentals are okay. Like they're
Mhm.
okay to me. To me, they're okay enough that I would favor him to beat Sebastian. They're okay enough. I think Virgil cracks harder than Sebastian. I think. I don't think Brian Mendoza. If you put Brian Mendoza in there with Virgil, Virgil gets Brian out of there. He get him out of there. So
Yeah, I
I
don't know if he.
you know, no, he'll get him out of there. He'll get him
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
there.
I know he'll get Brian out of there. I'm just saying, like, I'm not sure how well he will be taking Fundora's punches. It's like he already bruises pretty easily. Then you got a guy
Well,
in
the
there
thing is,
who's
Fig, is
tucking
that
everybody punches.
like
It's like,
Jules said, he's gonna come in to try to limit the ability of Fundora to land those punches on him. He's gonna try to
There's
smother him.
there's
I
two
would be
ways it goes.
nervous about
There's
that,
two ways
right?
it goes. The forward momentum, and to Fig's point, the forward momentum of Virgil could add something to Sebastian's punch because you're walking into it. There's that. There's that. But there's also that the closer he gets, the less extension Sebastian gets on the arm, the less power on the punch. And now you're smothering him. Once you're inside, you're smothering him. Now I do think Virgil can do that. He'll take some lumps, but he can do that. He can smother Sebastian and beat him up on the inside. I would favor Virgil to win that fight. And I think Samson knows, at minimum, he knows, yeah, that's going to be a hard fight. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want a hard fight.
Fundora,
And Fundora
Fundora's got
doesn't
him
want
knocked
it.
out. He's got him knocked out
And
before.
Right?
Fundora doesn't want it. He's over here acting like, oh no, I'm not interested in fighting him.
Shout out to George. Kelly improved. Kelly improved that much, or is Bakram overrated? No, Kelly improved. I'm not gonna steal his thunder. He improved. For you to get fucking annihilated like that by Avanesian and then fight a bigger guy, bigger puncher. Yeah, you got better. You got better because he kept interrupting him, even though he was shorter. I ain't gonna front. In hindsight, it is kind of impressive. He kept interrupting Bakram with his jab. You take a step forward, pop, and then he'll get out of there. You don't get to get in the rhythm. You don't get to set your feet, and you pop, and then you get out of there. He fought a good fight. He fought a good fight. I won't steal his thunder. He
How
got
long was
better.
Bakram out the ring though, man? Like the guy been
Fair.
fighting like over a year or
Yeah,
15
some
months
shit.
probably.
Fair.
I
Fair.
think that's what it was, Jules. It was a combination of Bakram it took him a bit to get into the fight, and then Kelly did employ a really good fucking strategy. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I forgot about the inactivity, to be fair, that he didn't fight last year. Nobody wanted to fight him. But I just feel like I gotta give Josh credit because the other champions, the other guys that have belts, they had that same year to fight that motherfucker, and they wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. So that if this guy does, I'm gonna give him his props. I'm gonna give him his props.
Yeah,
Josh did
it's
his
well
thing.
deserved.
Except for the knockdown, plus he still got back up.
Yeah. So I'll give Josh that. Look, on that note, I'm gonna fucking go to sleep. Fucking tired. We got a lot of fights this weekend. I'm sure y'all heard. We got a lot of fights. We got this one. We got this one.
Oh
So
yeah.
Loser leaves town match.
yeah, I'm getting fucking excited.
I'm gonna make
Wilder
a
Swan
memorial for
Song.
Wilder. You know what I'm saying?